Hey guys, welcome back to Susie Says. I know it has been a while, but life got in the way. There's a lot going on, but I finally got a chance to relax and just record another video for you guys. My last video was on Gypsy Rose's book, My Time to Stand. I did chapter 2. This one I'm going to go over chapter 3, 4, and 5 just to kind of make up for those weeks that I missed. And plus the chapters are kind of boring, so I'm going to try and group them together to get them out of the way faster if you don't mind. Since I was on here last, Gypsy's had her baby. Her TikTok has been hacked. All of our TikToks has been taken away and given back. And I'm still going to post on YouTube and TikTok and Red Note. So if you follow me on all three, please do and share so everyone else can too. Because we got to expose Gypsy. I'm going to go over my time to stand, but I prefer to call it my time to grift, my time to lie, my time to spin the narrative. Because that's all she does. So let's get started. So in chapter 3, she starts it by saying how her mom never allowed her to play with Barbie dolls. That her mom only wanted her to play with baby dolls because the baby doll's companion was his mother. And Barbie had Ken and a provocative hot tub and a dream house. And that was just too much for her. Now, when I first read this, I thought, I'm pretty sure I've seen the picture of Gypsy with a Barbie doll. And other content creators have too. And when it was mentioned in the video, I can't think of the user's name, but I'm going to tag it if I can find it. Gypsy actually messaged a content creator to clarify what she meant. And she stated, my mother didn't let me play with Barbie dolls as a young child, meaning age 6 or 7. She didn't want me to grow out of the little baby toys. After about 9, she let me have Barbies. So again, I didn't lie. First and foremost, when Gypsy wants to recall her age, she really can recall what age she was. Like, she is literally like, no, I was this years old and that years old. So, you know, she never knew how old she was. They never had candles. Remember that lie? Anyway, so I find it a little weird that she makes it seem as though her mom was worried about a 6 or 7-year-old worrying about the anatomy of a doll. I don't think that's something that would even cross their mind. It makes me wonder about those rumors she spoke about with her grandfather when he was saying that he would tell Gypsy, hey, don't touch me there. I'm trying to be very careful how I word it, but it makes me wonder if that was why her mom didn't want her to have these Barbie dolls at that age. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I honestly don't think this is too big of a deal. This is not even something important to lie about. She shouldn't have even brought this up because she knows she has pictures with a Barbie doll's part. And I'm sure if we look, we'll find a lot more. It's just like, why, Gypsy? Why even write down something if you don't clarify it clearly? You're trying to villainize her as much as you can. Another thing I wanted to go over in chapter 3 is how she talks about the way she and her mother spoke to each other. She said she called her mother honey and her mom called her baby. Now, I don't think that's weird on the mother's end. Calling your child baby would come naturally, I think, for a mom. A child calling a mom honey is a little odd. I think that's a little weird. And if Dee Dee did allow that, I mean, I'm sure everybody has their little nicknames they call each other. I just feel like if she did call her mom honey would be such a trigger for her, especially knowing her mom was abusing her. Like, I don't know. I feel like if I had a nickname specifically for my mom, where there'd be like sweetheart or sweetie, or I don't know, I wouldn't call my mom that. But if I did, I would reserve that name only for my mom. And what this makes me think about is how she and Nick traded hun. I know it's not the full word honey, but I'm sure I've heard even Ryan Anderson call her honey. And it's just like, I feel like that would have been like, ooh, don't call me that. You know, it wasn't a trigger for her. So I don't know if I believe this part too much. If we can find video of Gypsy calling her mom honey, I'll believe it. I will believe it. And I'm sure there's lots of video of Gypsy. Dee Dee seems to have a lot of photos of her, especially when she was little. So if anybody can find that, then I'll say Gypsy is telling the truth. But it just seems a little weird. That's all. Moving on. She says she was not allowed to move her legs in her wheelchair. She spoke about how she got in a motorcycle accident with her grandfather, and all she really did was get a little like road rash on her leg, but her mom treated it as if her leg had been amputated, and her mom made her be in a wheelchair. She stated she was not allowed to use her legs at all even in the privacy of her own home. Now, if you know anything about muscles and how they work, you would lose muscle mass. Your legs would look like you don't use them. Like if I never worked out or if I never like moved around, your body would reflect that. Gypsy had regular muscle tone in her leg. Even doctors stated this. Like there's no reason for Gypsy to not be walking. She has regular muscle tone, which means Gypsy, you was walking around in that house. I don't care which way you spin it. If Gypsy can answer, if I can ask Gypsy any question, I would ask her, why did you have normal muscle mass in your leg? If you was not allowed to walk at all, where did the muscle mass come from? Your legs looked normal. You were able to walk. After you unalived your mom, you walked out the house with Nick. You walked in the bus station. Even before then, you walked out of the house to go see Dan. So that's just something I don't believe. Another part of the book I don't believe. I don't believe she was not allowed to walk around in that house at all. And she wants us to believe this so badly. Like, Gypsy, we're not stupid. We know how the body works. Now, I do believe she may have had some type of muscular issue where her legs did bother her at some time. And that could have been the reason for the wheelchair. I think that was the reason for the wheelchair. Of course, Dee Dee exaggerated it, but to say Gypsy never walked in that house and that her mom would say, "Hey, Gypsy, I can see your leg moving." Okay. Now, I had to look up what a clawfoot bathtub looks like because she goes on to say that her mom would have bath time with her dad. So Dee Dee would take a bath with Claude, and Gypsy would be just sitting there on the toilet waiting. Um, and then after her mom would get out and put her in the water with Claude, she used words to make the bath time sound very inappropriate. And she would say Dee Dee would peek in every once in a while just to check on her. And I had to look up a clawfoot bathtub because I find it hard to see two adult people sitting in there. They're beautiful tubs. They're small, unless they have some grand house with a really big one. But that part of the book just kind of made me wonder. It took me back to the Barbie doll situation. She claims Dee Dee was so worried about her seeing Barbie's anatomy, but would also just plop her in the bathtub with a fully naked man. If Gypsy was being inappropriate, it was probably because of those bath times with Claude. I'm just saying, like, you show a child something, they're going to ask, what's this, what's that? And then you're going to tell me, but no, Barbie is off limit. Barbie has bumps and grooves. And we've all seen Barbie dolls. They don't have any details, just the shape of what you would be there. So that part of the book is a little weird. She also talks about the abuse. She says one time Claude took her in a closet and she blames the fact that her mom told her to never move her legs as for a reason as to why she didn't like resist or allowed abuse to happen. And again, Dee Dee isn't here to defend herself. So I just found that part of the book to be a little odd. It kind of, again, the Barbie dolls and the bath times, Dee Dee's paranoia kind of contradicts themselves in this part. So Gypsy, I would like for you to explain that just a little bit more. Moving on to her schooling. She claims that she only did 1 year of school and then her mom took her out of school to homeschool her. And again, I don't think she did complete a full 12 years of schooling, but she can't sit there and say that she was not homeschooled. Gypsy was able to read books. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. As an adult, I find these books a little challenging to read. They're kind of boring to me, but they're not an easy read. I know this. Gypsy says she has no education but was able to read those books. There's been some dispute about how far along she was in school. I know I've seen some interviews where she said up to second grade. I think I might have heard up to third grade. I guess we'll never truly know for sure. We know she did get her GED in prison. So she definitely did graduate after she unalived her mom. But for her to say she only went through 1 year of schooling and she had no education, she had no computer, no knowledge of anything, I find that to be a little bit extreme because she obviously was taught something. I even heard a rumor about her having a tutor. I don't know how true that was, but it's like, girl, stop trying to act like you were so just uninformed. You knew what you were doing. In chapter 5, she talks about her teeth. She makes a comment about her teeth, how she sucked the bottle a lot. She would say she was allowed to take her bottles out the house with her, and people would ask when they were in public, like, why is she sucking a bottle? She's 13 years old. Her mom would say that's one of the 2 ways she can get nutrients, and she did have a feeding tube. And she would also sometimes say, oh, she's just not, all the way there. She's not mentally there. Both may have been true. But she goes on to say that caused her teeth to protrude like SpongeBob. Like, why did she use the word SpongeBob? Because I want to know, when did she write this book? Because remember when she was out of prison? SpongeBob, I never watched SpongeBob.
Where that's from?
No.
It's from SpongeBob.
Oh, I've never seen
It's
SpongeBob.
like the French actually do hours later.
Yeah, that's the voice.
Yeah.
I've never seen SpongeBob.
Remember that clip? So, your teeth protruded like SpongeBob. Maybe she's saying it in hindsight. I don't know. But I find it very weird that she used that. It's almost like she wants us to catch these things. Like, okay, so you never watched SpongeBob, but you know his teeth protrudes. Okay. I'm on to you. In chapter 5, she speaks a lot about Munchausen by proxy, but never explains anything that is Munchausen by proxy. She explains malingering perfectly, but she never explains anything that is Munchausen. Munchausen, from what I've seen, is typically the parent is making the child sick. They will go out of their way to feed the child something that will hurt their well-being. They will just physically hurt the child, then take the child to the hospital. They don't do it for money. They do it for attention. It is different. Gypsy benefited. She talks about how her mom got to stay at, her and her mom got to stay at the Ronald McDonald house, how they got all this free stuff. Her mom was really good at getting free stuff. That's malingering, Gypsy. That is not Munchausen. I was waiting for you to explain something that was Munchausen, and you never did. I'm no Munchausen expert, but I've seen some stuff on parents who actually did hurt their children. They never do it for financial gain. They do it because they love the attention. They crave the attention it gives them when their child is hurt, or if they're seen as a great mother, and everybody is like, oh my God, you're so strong. You're taking care of your sick child. And they don't want a Disney World trip. They want attention. So I just noticed that as well. And these are just a few things. I'm wrapping it up, guys. She talked about her short hair. She gave 2 different reasons for her short hair. In the beginning, I believe, of chapter 3, she talks about how her mom considered body hair dirty. So pubic hair would be shaved. And she even mentioned the hair in your head was considered dirty. So her mom would cut her hair on her head. She said that in the book. And then later on in chapter 5, she says that her mom kept her hair short because when her hair would grow out, she would look too much like her dad. 2 different stories again. Gypsy, why was your hair so short when you were younger? Why? I just need one story. And if you want to respond to my video and give me an answer, I'll be happy. Come on, you got to let me know, because I have questions. And then at the end of chapter 5, she goes to explain how DFS came to her house when she was 18. She don't mention she was 18. She just said DFS was called to the house, and as she always says, they didn't ask her the right questions. She said they asked questions that required a negative answer. So they didn't ask her if she was being abused she said she hadn't been abused at that point. So the questions they ask her about, if you have bruises on your body, is this woman keeping your hair against your will, yada, yada, yada. Those questions required a no, I'm fine. So, and then she wasn't abused at that point, she said. But apparently after DFS was called, Dee Dee decided to start abusing her and stuff and tying her to the bed and all that. Even though she had doctor's appointments left and right, she was going to abuse Gypsy and physically hurt her and then take her to the hospital. I mean, wouldn't that trigger DFS even more? Someone will call. Also, I just remember when I was watching Prison Confessions of Gypsy Rose, one of the doctors openly said, I was the one who called, and Dee Dee was so upset about that.
I had no clue what DFS was doing, and I asked Dee Dee to bring Gypsy in. I asked, has anyone from the state come and visited you? And Dee Dee said, yeah, they did. And I said, I want you to know that I was the one who called them. And I asked Dee Dee to leave the room because I wanted to talk to Gypsy. So at this point, I said, Gypsy, is everything okay? Is there anything that you want to tell me? This is a safe place. She was like, no, everything's fine. My mom loves me, and I love my mom.
But in the book, she also states that when she was reading her medical report or a police report or something, you know, that was when she found out how DFS was caught. Now, again, maybe I'm just looking too much into it, but again, there's always two different stories with Gypsy. Like, you were 18 years old at that point. Honestly, I wouldn't even be bringing up this DFS story anymore because you were an adult by that time. And again, Dee Dee, she states that Dee Dee decided to put up black trash bags over the window to block everything out. No, every time I hear this story, it sounds like she's not trying to block everything out. She's trying to conceal Gypsy. Gypsy is up walking around normal. That's why your legs got normal muscle mass, girl. And she probably thought someone caught DFS because they probably saw you walking around the house. I mean, they would. I'm sure if you didn't have trash bags up in your windows or things, curtains blocking the windows, people could look in and be like, yo, this girl walking. But that was how she ended chapter 5. I'm not going to go on anymore because I'm going to keep talking. And I really enjoy talking about this book. And I want to make sure I get all the details out there because we are going to expose her. If you like this video, please give a comment. Please give a like. Please give a share. I'm really happy to be back. I'm going to try and make as much content as possible. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Rednote, and I'm on YouTube. So please give me a follow on all three. I will try and post content daily. I appreciate everything you say. Please know also that these videos are just my personal opinion. There's no factual evidence behind it except when I can post pictures and show. I like to give my opinion of what I think. So this is just what I say. This is what Susie says. Tell me what you say in the comments below. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.